Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very accomplished professional from Austin, Texas, USA, Mr. Robert Duran. Robert, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Ash. Very excited to be here.
Thank you. Robert is a 10X business coach, and he has been recognized amongst the top 3 producers for the 10X program in 2023. He's also the founder of Biohacking Network Group, which is a Grant Cardone licensee. So, Robert, before we talk about BNG, tell me about your own journey in brief.
My own journey. Let's see. So I come from a divorced family.
Mhm.
So before I was even born, just didn't have a role model,
Mhm.
necessarily have a role model. And luckily I had some grandparents and my mother, but I always tried to figure things out myself.
Mhm.
So something that I learned at a very young age is I would see my grandmother on how she would buy things on clearance and then resell them.
Mm.
So that's how I feel I got into more of the business side, was always seeing my grandmother purchase things and resell them for a higher profit. So by the age of, I want to say, fourth grade, I was already selling candies and cookies and bootlegged movies to my peers in the elementary school.
Mm. Mm.
So that's how it all started. From there, it led me to in high school, I was the guy throwing those underage uh, parties and charging for it.
Mm.
And I'm originally from Laredo, Texas, which is south, the very bottom of the US, right, the border to Mexico. And there, I would throw parties in Mexico. So all the people from Laredo, Texas, all the high school kids would cross over, and in return, I would make money from that. So I've always had that entrepreneur spirit in me. So that's kind of where it started on that.
Amazing. Thank you. So tell me about the Biohacking Network Group. And before that, how do you define biohacking?
So biohacking is actually, it's like if we think of a computer, right? When somebody says, "Oh, I got hacked,"
Mm-hmm.
what it means is someone knew how they were able to take advantage of the program,
Right.
good or bad. So biohacking is the same thing with our genetics, our biodome.
Right.
And there's ways that you can hack your DNA to do things to slow down the effects of aging, repair certain strands. So that's where that biohacking. It's actually a really big term. You could go on whatever search engine and get more information on that one.
Thank you. And Robert, what are some of the key strategies to build a successful international community like the Biohacking Network Group that you have created?
Successful for sure is partnering up with successful people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the reasons I'm here is because I know you're successful in what you do and have a really big background.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest ones is you can be the best of the best, but it don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's who you hang around with. How can you leverage off their experience, their years of dedication, and that will instantly elevate you a lot faster. And you can also learn, which is the second one, mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have mentorship that rather than recreate the wheel, you can just learn from people that are ultra successful and just either follow in their footsteps or get advice that can help you in your journey.
Very interesting.
So those right there are probably the top two that I would suggest is connect with the right people and then have a mentor. You need a mentor.
Very well said.
I was going to say something on that one
Go ahead,
is,
please. Yeah.
you know, because I come from a divorced family, even though my parents nourished me, my mother and my grandparents, I never had that mentorship on how to talk to women, how business actually really works, how the world works, how to talk to people.
Mm,
And I wish that someone had come up to me and said, "Hey, don't try to don't try to fix it yourself. Follow those 2 steps that I just said, and it will
mm,
make life so much easier."
mm. Thank you. So my next few questions are going to be regarding coaching, and you've got this very nice looking banner behind you, which is a 10x business coach. Uh, Tell me, what are some of the common challenges your clients face, and how do you address them as a coach?
So the first one I want to say is mindset.
Mhm,
Because of our culture, the way we're brought up,
mm,
what we see as a very young child, that programs us to certain limitations or beliefs.
mm,
So, I come from I was born here in the US, but my nationality would be Hispanic.
mhm,
And there's a lot of limitations that we believe in or that we're taught
mm,
that as we get older affects our productivity and our lifestyle.
mm,
So the first one is the mindset,
mm,
making sure that we're able to reprogram a lot of the limitations,
mhm,
and that's through time, with repetition. So the first one's mindset. The second one would be amateur professional.
mhm.
It's what are you trying to do with your career or
Right.
whatever you're trying to accomplish. This could be a sport, it could be a business, but an amateur is someone that does it as a pastime, doesn't
Mm,
make money, just doesn't train, doesn't necessarily do a lot of things. And then a professional. And a professional is constantly training, constantly perfecting their craft, learning from their mistakes, setting goals, hitting those targets,
mm,
and just having a bigger vision.
mm,
So that right there, mindset, we teach them the difference between amateur and professional.
mhm,
And then I want to say the biggest one is the training. It's building that muscle. As a coach, and I specialize in the sales side, we are trained and we build a muscle that we don't get emotional during the transaction. Some people get very emotional.
right.
Um, there's, when you exchange money, some people have a really big, it's really hard for people to let go of money, and they're going to tell you every excuse, every reason why they can't do something. And having that muscle of professionalism, understanding where they're coming from, but knowing that you can solve their problem,
Mm,
that's the muscle. And knowing the techniques, knowing how to go from, handling every objection of let me think about it. I don't have the money. It's over budget. Let me talk to my spouse. Knowing how to handle each and every objection and then closing the deal.
mm.
So
Great.
those right there
Mm,
are a couple of the top of the coach
yeah,
things that we really work on.
that's amazing. Thank you for what a wonderful response. My next question is, that you also have your 10x courses and workshops. What are some of the core principles that you work with in these workshops?
So you're talking about the workshops for the sales coaching workshops.
Mhm,
Awesome. So it really just depends. So we have a wide variety of workshops. There's just in business, there's a lot of different areas that people want to work on. So we have cold call workshops that we teach people how to create a script, and that's something that professionals have.
mm,
We have scripts for every single
right.
thing.
Wow.
We don't try to wing it. Here in the States, we call wing it, which
Mhm,
means kind of improv. Um, so we do that. We do sales workshops where we teach people the sales process,
mhm,
right? Because we teach 12 steps to the sale. So we,
mm,
we teach them the process and how to master each and every one. We have marketing workshops as well. With social media, it's a great platform, but
mhm,
there's just so much distractions. And it's how do we grab the consumer's attention so they can stop just scrolling and just, we have a very short attention span. So they were just scrolling. So how do I go, hey,
Hmm.
right? So they can be like, oh, what is that? Who
Hmm.
do you know, right? And then that's how we're able to grab attention.
Okay.
So we do have a wide variety of workshops that we work on.
Very interesting. And Robert, as a coach, over the years, how has your approach to business coaching evolved over the last few years?
Oh my God. Um, being more systematic,
Hmm.
having systems, automations, we all have 24 hours in the day, but how do we really maximize this? Um, multi cash flows. So being able to learn how to monetize the business.
Hmm.
And this is something that that Grant taught me, Grant Cardone, who's the
Hmm.
number one sales expert in the world. And every person that I bring in, whether it was a small little $97 program or a $50,000 program, once I get them into my ecosystem and show the value and help them, then I've been able to create so many different services that complement each other.
Right.
So that's something that I've learned through the business side is top companies like Google, Amazon,
Mm.
even your local insurance agent, they've been able to monetize other services.
Hmm.
And what you're really doing is you're providing value, but you're also keeping a customer way longer
Mm.
because now they're like, well, I can't leave that person because I'm buying this from them. It's too much of a hassle. I'm just going to stay here because
Mm.
they do exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Fascinating.
So.
And whenever I've spoken to a coach, or whenever I sit in on the other side as a coach, one of the challenges or one of the needs is to set goals and plan your business. How do you approach goal setting and business planning in a volatile market? And we've just come out of 3 years of uncertainty because of COVID.
So first thing, that's a mindset because there are people that are making a lot of money and there's a lot of companies and people losing a lot of money.
Mhm.
So what happens is when people get into that scarcity mode, they start to see what they could cut out and they stop promoting, they stop, so they're in a very, very scarcity position where the people that understand that and know how to grab attention, they have more markets. So that's the first thing, mindset.
Mm.
The second one is it's reverse engineering.
Mm.
So where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, and then create a plan that relates to that. So if your goal is to make, let's say, $100,000, and again, I'm making it very simple for the year, then you would divide that by 12 months, by 4 weeks, and then divide it by how many days you work.
Mm.
So now you're like, okay, I need to make this much a day.
Mm.
What do I have to do? Who do I have to talk to
Mhm.
so I can hit my goal? And that way, by the end of the year, I should have this amount of money. So it's reverse engineering when
Mm.
we're talking about goals and targets.
Well said. And Robert, over the years, technology has become a very critical aspect of all our lives, both at work and at home. What role does technology play in your coaching and your business strategies?
Absolutely. So, back in the day,
Mhm.
it was very expensive. If you wanted to come on television or advertising, we live in a world where all these apps are free. There's a whole
Mm.
bunch of free platforms. There's a lot of outlets that are free, like YouTube, right? So, absolutely, it's the people that understand that people need to know you
Mhm.
to buy from you,
Mm.
to trust you. So I recommend everyone to take advantage of these programs that are free
Mhm.
that give you the ability to touch more people.
Mm.
So absolutely, it's probably the most important time.
Mm.
And now I was watching Apple, they're bringing in these visual
Yeah.
goggles. Have you seen
Mm.
that? It's called
Yeah.
Apple Vision,
Mm.
which is only going to make things even more. more ways to get in touch with more people. It is an amazing time, but yes, it is very, very important that you utilize the internet or social media in a way to touch more people, not consume more products, right? So that's what I have to say about
Fascinating.
that question.
Uh, Changing gears slightly, when I was preparing to talk to you, I read about your having created the National Retro Day. Uh, Tell me about this and what was the story behind creating the a special day that you call National Retro Day.
Absolutely. So National Retro Day lands on February 27th. And this is it's a holiday, kind of like, I know here in the States we have like Margarita Day, Siblings Day, National Boss Day, but I created National Retro Day along with my mother, Hermelinda A. Aguilar, and then my wife, Tina Duran. So National Retro Day is a holiday that everyone celebrates internationally. I have had people from Japan, people I think I have some people from India that have sent me pictures. And it's a one day where you can reminisce on the past, the retro time. So people will go online and show off their business card, or not their business cards, their baseball cards, their cards, their classic cars. A lot of companies show like pictures of them when, in the 70s or 60s. And it's a very fun holiday to celebrate in different ways. But the main goal for that, and this is not a lot of people know about it, is for one day out of the year is to remove smartphone and internet just for one day. So that way you can focus on the family or the friends more in person versus in a digital. And as much as I love technology, it can be very distant, right? So that's the main goal. Is before smartphone and internet, we used to go to the roller skating rinks, play football, have a small party. And that's the real reason why we created that, was just to provide that in a very fun atmosphere.
Very interesting. So, Robert, two more questions, and these are for you personally. Given all the successes that you have had and the background that you were talking about, my question is, how has your own background supported your coaching philosophy, your style, and your values?
I believe that we're all created for different purposes. Everybody. Some people have it better than others. But I believe that every step that has happened to us, good or bad, has taught us something, has created a muscle, has opened up doors that has helped us mold ourselves into the person that we need to become in this world. So from my background, everything that I've been through, at 19, I got took advantage of it in my very first business, and I remember that. But I needed to go through that so I could really learn what to expect in the business world or in the real world. So wherever you're at in your life, just understand that you had to go through those places to become the person that you are today.
Well said. Well said. My next question is that how have you been shaped by people in your life, and how are they influencing you as a coach today?
Everyone just has so many personality and traits. I have people that are so giving and serving, and I'm just like, I need to be more like them. And then I'm surrounded by other people that they're the most humble person. I'm like, I got to be more like them. And then I have some people that are just so organized, so analytical, and I'm like, I could learn more from them. And I just, every single person that's in this world, I could learn from, because we all have certain traits. We all have a story.
Right.
So, what I do is I listen to people. I see their smile and the way they act, and nobody's perfect, but I look at all their areas where their talents, or they really strive, and I say, wow, that is awesome. And we're all individuals. So yeah, definitely, coaching, I learned from everybody. This this meeting today is the same thing. I'm learning, even just your smile, the way you ask questions. I'm admiring. I'm like, man, I could be more like that. I could learn from that.
Very kind of you. Thank you. And Robert, my last question to you, and this is for the many, many people who will listen to our conversation. Based on your own amazing journey and all your learnings, what would you say are 3 lessons you would want aspiring entrepreneurs, business leaders to take away?
Think way bigger. Way, way bigger. That's the first one. There's so many people that have done such amazing big things, and there is no difference between you and them. So that's the first thing. The second one is, I was gonna say never assume, but I believe there's another 2 that people need to know. Assume is good. Never assume. It doesn't create anything, but think way bigger. Success happens because of you, would be the second one. There's so many limitations on luck and thinking, oh, well, I hope this happens to me. There's no limitations. Success doesn't happen to you. It happens because of you.
Well said.
And I guess the third one, again, I'm really, really honing in to what the top 3 that I've learned. Is just know that we're not physical beings. We're spiritual beings. And if we were physical, we would have already cracked. We would have already broken down by now. We're spiritual beings. We're able to accomplish way, way more than what we think we can. If we're a table, we would break. You, me, and everyone else that's listening knows that you've gone through things that you said, I don't know how I'm going to get out of it, and you did. Because of that, you can do way more.
Great response. Robert, on that note and your amazing lessons, think way bigger, never assumed, think really big. Second, you said success happens because of you. There are, or there should be, no limitations. And the third one you said, which is so powerful, we are spiritual beings, not only physical beings. Thank you so much for speaking to me about your own amazing journey. Thank you for speaking to me about the Biohacking Network Group, about so many different aspects of coaching that you are working on. And thank you for all the stuff that you are doing with so many of your coaches and making life so much easier and helping people to confront so many of their own challenges. Thank you for speaking to me, and good luck.
I appreciate it, As. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to the brand called You Videocast and Podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the brand called You.